Can you get rich quick drop shipping? This is something that everyone asks themselves, everyone is looking up online, every guru is telling you is possible. In this video, we're going to analyze the whole entire concept or conspiracy, let's call it, of can you get rich quick drop shipping? And before we get into the video, if you're not familiar with the channel, please do check out all the other videos. There's a wealth of knowledge on this channel and there's lots of information coming. I highly recommend subscribing if you're on the journey of trying to retire early, become financially free, or at least quit your day job and do something online. That's what this channel is all about. So if you have any drive to make money online, get rich, if you're excited by money, whatever it is, I'm sure you found yourself on YouTube and you've been watching all these gurus around drop shipping and they're telling you, you can make millions, you're gonna be driving a Lamborghini. If you don't have a Lamborghini, you're not doing it right. You know, some pretty ridiculous stuff online. And it all comes down to drop shipping, e-commerce, Shopify stores, software sales, whatever they're doing. And we're looking at a very few of very, very, very many who have been successful, but some of their success isn't necessarily coming from what they're telling you that they've been doing. So beyond just the fallacy of these people are mostly wealthy because they're teaching you how to become wealthy and not because they're actually practicing what they're doing, because if they were practicing what they were doing, they would be capitalizing on the markets that they're offering to you guys as something that you should be doing. They wouldn't be telling you because they'd be making more money than you could possibly do it if they were experts in doing that. That should be very clear to everyone in this video, and hopefully that I just made that clear if it wasn't already clear. But we're going to talk about, can you actually get rich dropshipping, and can you get rich quickly? Because certainly it is happening, and those people aren't on YouTube because they don't want you to know that they're making so much money doing it, because they don't want it to be competitive, or at least as competitive as it could be in already a competitive market. Yeah, I probably just threw a lot of information at you, and I probably just rocked your boat a little bit because it's contrary to everything that you've been hearing online. You know, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are certainly people that, one, are very wealthy because they started dropshipping organizations. And yeah, sure, there are people that got rich doing it and got rich very, 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 very quickly. That's true with every business venture that's ever existed, because you have the people that are truly amazing at what they do. They are the Bill Gates. They are the Elon Musk of what they're doing. And you have people like the lottery winners that just do it, they do a very good job, and they get very lucky doing it. Every entrepreneur knows there's a level of luck that plays into everything you do, and it's just about repeating things as many times as possible so you hit that luck on your business venture. Unfortunately, that's a reality. We all need luck to live. Or some chances. I don't really believe in luck, but you stack your odds, let's say. So yes, it is for sure possible, but is it a reality for you? And that's what I want to talk about, because I think that is what's important here. And the answer is probably not. Just knowing how of a low, and the reason why is because dropshipping and e-commerce has such a low barrier to entry that so many people are trying it. If you could get rich quickly, wouldn't every single person trying it be getting rich quickly? The answer is obviously no. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do it and you can't become rich. It's just not going to be quick, and it's going to take a lot of time, education, learning, practice, risk. It's going to take all of that. The reality is if you want a hard number, because I think most of you guys came for a firm answer, is that somebody that is dedicating their life, we're not talking about a side hustle, we're talking about this is everything that they live, do, breathe, sleep, bleed, everything. I would say between 3 and 4 years, you might be able to carve out a niche for yourself and find some success. Are you going to be wealthy? For most of you, still, that is still untouchable with what you're doing. Dropshipping is one of the few things that if you find success in it, it is rapidly scalable. So that is where you see this heightened growth to fame. It's also where you can see people rapidly scaling things at a loss, but just showing you a gross income, and that's how they then sell you a course. The course pays for the losses and more, and they buy many, many Lamborghinis. It is one of the few things that you can do that. The downside to this rapid scalable growth, because once you figure out what works, it's all about ad spend if you have your product selected correctly. The downside is until you get to that point, there aren't a lot of margins for you. So instead of a normal job where you're going to have a fixed income that probably will grow over time as you increase your skill set, right? You know, the downside with that, or the positive side, is you've got a fixed income. You're always going to get better at what you do, and you're going to make a little bit more money every single year, and it's going to be almost guaranteed because it's what you do for a living. Now, if you take the e-commerce route and the drop shipping route, Instead of going like this with your income, you're going to stagnate and you might go up a little bit, you might make a little money, and then all of a sudden it's going to be straight up because you're going to be able to scale what worked. Now, this has its pros and cons. You've got to be able to survive until that time happens. That time, whether you're amazing or not, there's a little bit of luck around it. There's a lot of stacking your odds, and there's a lot of trial and error and failure, and then some success maybe for you. So this is where we create the fallacy of getting rich quick for the average person around dropshipping. They're like, okay, it all happens at once and I become rich. But they forget about the 3 or 4 years or the 10 years or whatever time goes in before that until that curve goes straight up where you're not making any money, but you're still spending 12, 16-hour days, 7 days a week trying to figure out, how do I become successful here? Before I get too far into letting the waterfall land on you guys and discouraging you, this isn't a place to be discouraged. All I'm trying to do here is set an expectation of what reality is. It's going to take a lot of your time, and sure, there is a chance that you can get rich very, very quickly. Is that going to happen without spending a significant amount of money? Absolutely not. And that's the one other thing that I wanted to say here. So you can still be wildly successful, and everyone, I truly believe everyone should have a side hustle. And for most people that are in the workforce, doing something online is the best option for a side hustle depending on your situation. Now, if you really do need money, like if you're living paycheck to paycheck, maybe a side hustle like this isn't for you. Maybe you need to just pick up hours until you have a little bit of a buffer because of this last thing. When you have this opportunity to grow, when you have that burst where you're like, it all makes sense, I'm ready to go, it takes investment on your end, even if you're not storing the products yourself, because you need to spend the money on ads. There will be a period of time when you scale up that the money coming in, there is a delay to the money that needs to go out to spend first on those customer acquisitions. And to scale that, have that exponential growth, you might find that you're spending $100 a day and tomorrow you need to spend $150,000 to have that growth. And most of us don't have $150,000 to spend. So a couple things you can do is if you've been operating long enough, you can get a business line of credit and do it. It's a risky game, or you can have the money built up. So it's almost like a question of like, how do you grow your business and also grow your coffers? And for a lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, the first couple of years of any business is about growing the income and the money behind the business to make the big jump, or at least be ready to make the big jump when you're fully positioned and fully like set up, right? I want to know that I have every piece of armor on before I go into battle. So I spend a couple of years with the business building it out, acquiring every piece of armor, whether it's money, customers, reputation, reviews that are honest, my own product development, right? Those are all my pieces of the chainmail. And then I go into battle and see if I can withstand a spear. But I need to have all of those things to have the chainmail all put together. So the short of all of this is, can it happen? It certainly can happen. Is it likely for you? Absolutely not. Should that discourage you? Absolutely not. Because it is still possible to make a lot of money with e-commerce. And in the grand scheme of things, when you're thinking about progression in the professional world versus progression online, if you didn't go to college and you didn't stack yourself up where you're starting your career at like, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 plus, your career progression without going back to school and re-educating or getting into the trades may not be as fast as what could happen if you dedicate some of your time on building your own business out on your own. E-commerce or dropshipping could be a viable option. So those are things to think about as you're kind of trying to consider what to do and how to stack yourself up in the game of life that we all play and the dollar bills that we're all chasing. So hopefully I gave you guys some information here. Hopefully I wasn't too discouraging, because my intent is not to discourage, but is just to be a reality check for you guys so you're not wasting your time and you're not being oversold dreams that really aren't possible, and ultimately wasting your money because these people are charging you for courses, they're telling you certain things work, and you spend money on ads and they don't work and you've just lost that money. So hopefully this is just a reality statement, and more importantly, watch the videos on the channel if you want to get more reality statements, but if you want real advice on how to do actionable things that are going to best protect your wallet and potentially make you the most sustainable money in the long run. I'll see you guys in the next video.